Hey guys, welcome to GTS this Friday. I just forgot, I think it's the 20th, right? Yes, today, this Friday the 20th of November. Maybe it isn't Friday the 20th for some of you guys out there. We're really glad to have you here. We have a really special episode like every Friday. We have an awesome guest. We have Joshua Darrah joining us this week. It's a man who needs no introduction. We're really happy to have you here, Joshua, tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Good to be here. Yeah.
All the way from Australia. But anyway, you guys already know.
Yep.
You guys already know who I am. I'm Master Great Jess. And you guys already know that's my name. And I'm really happy to be here. But I'm going to pass it on to my boy, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody. Gunpla Hong here. How's everyone doing tonight? Really, really happy to be back. Yeah, super exciting. We have Josh tonight. I'm super excited for this because his work is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to pick at him a little bit about what he does, how he goes about everything. It's going to be a great night. Is Derek still there right now?
Yes, I am. Hey guys, it's Derek. It's back again with all the boys, and I'm very, very happy to actually be on this episode with Joshua. Shoot. It's going to be exciting because we're going to go do something different, and I'm hoping by all means it doesn't kill my computer later on.
Hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, let's go with the introduction to who Joshua is here. Hey.
So Joshua, how are you today?
I'm really good. It's getting into summertime here in Australia, and I'm at my family's farmhouse, and I just got here, and they just put air conditioning in, so I am so glad. Otherwise, I'd be sweating in about 20 minutes.
Really?
So it's really nice here.
Really?
Yeah.
Over here,
so that's good.
It's like -2 degrees, I think, over here, Celsius.
Yeah.
No outside.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
And he's over there like good. air conditioning. Man, no, we're really happy to have you here, man. I just want to remind everybody in the audience that we do have our Discord server. If you guys want to join our Discord server, it's a really big family. We have great people on the server, such as Kev Model, such as Jetto, such as Kelga, Old School Skill, so many to name. But if you guys want to join in, go to the description. That's where the link will be to an infinite, a limitless link. So you can just click on it and join in. We also have a Patreon. If you're feeling nice and you want to help us out in some way, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. We do this because it's a passion of ours and we really just want to get the word out of our beautiful hobby. I also want to remind everybody that GTS is now part of G Squad, which is obviously something it's under the banner of Studio G, who is a great friend of the show, somebody who started the show with me, Justin. So shout out to him. Really awesome. But let's keep going on to Joshua with this beautiful logo of his, man.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice. How did you actually come up with this logo? Like how do you read this logo exactly?
Well, you just clockwise? No, like a Z. Yep. Josh.
Ah, there it is, Josh. Okay, that's pretty nice there. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, maybe all the letters side of the. I didn't realize that was an H until right now, Josh. Well, I mean, it looks like an H. I don't know, man. It's beautiful. I love the colors. I love the geometry going on. But we're gonna go on to.
You just told me I failed at my logo design because you couldn't follow the H. So yeah.
No. You didn't fail. You didn't fail. I was just
logo then.
No failure there. The failure side.
Man, now I feel bad.
No failure there on you. It's Jess. We're helping him with reading right now still, so we're doing our best with him. We apologize on our end.
No, it's okay. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Joshua? Over here, we have a question. It's who are you? So, who is Joshua?
Who am I? I like doing art. I was born in America and moved to Australia when I was like 8 years old. So I've lived in Australia my whole life. So I feel like I'm Aussie. I was into art when I was younger, drawing, making things, which I think got all that kind of hands-on stuff, carving, doing little woodworking things and stuff like that has helped me with my modification of Gunpla, kind of just I don't know, hand-eye kind of experience. I like surfing. I like horse riding. Ooh. I like FPV drone flying with my friends. I like playing heaps of video games, and I don't know if any of you guys have played Rocket League, but I've been playing it for like a few years, and I still can't stop playing that game. So much
Really?
fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
Man. It's
And I
addicting.
like animals. I've got a Labrador. He's like 5 years old, and he's cool. And I got a great partner, and yeah, that's kind of it. And I do a bit of teaching as well. I teach at a local YMCA school, teaching the students art and remote control planes and things. And I took in when I started there, the staff were like, "We just want you to have something fun and cool for the kids to do. We want them engaged. It doesn't have to be super teachy." Or super structured. And after about a semester, I'm like, maybe I can take in some Gundam kits and see if they like it. And I'm like, I think they'll like it. So I got a bunch of them, took them in, and the whole class was silent. And they were just working for like an hour straight, which they never do. So Gunpla kits for the win. Yeah.
Nice.
For sure.
Dude, that's so sick, actually. I would love to be going to school to build Gundam kits. Holy shoot.
I know.
It's really nice. I mean, it's you're a teacher, you're an artist, you're so many things, and I know here in the Gunpla community, you're known as a great modeler too. So it's really nice to see how you branched out, and you're even a teacher. So I all people in our lives, some of the people that are most important in our lives are our teachers in general. It's people who we spend a lot of time with. So it's really noble and really awesome of you to actually spend some time teaching others your amazing abilities. And speaking of art, on slide 6, 7, and here we have a picture of a unicorn that you actually drew, right?
Yeah. This is the box art for the Verka, the original unicorn. So I copied it from that, but it's all hand drawn. And how this came about was I was building. This is like maybe 2014. I've been building for a year or so, and I thought, I don't feel like building, but I still want to do something with Gundam. And I'm like, I haven't drawn in a while, so I might start drawing that. And I don't know if any of you guys have done any drawing or anything before, but sometimes you get sick of drawing the same things. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have any drawing inspiration, but as soon as I started drawing the Gundams, oh man, that was it. And so I go out to a bar or a cafe and just sit there, and I have this little portable light, and I have a beer or a coffee and sit there and draw and just sketch. And it's real fun. And I hadn't done, these are done with ballpoint pen, kind of a cross-hatching technique. And I used to draw in pencil because I like black and white, but I started working with the ballpoint pen, and man, it's a whole nother ball game trying to draw with a pen and getting smooth shading and stuff. But this was maybe my 8th drawing with it, so I was getting much better by this stage. So it's real fun doing the drawings. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So originally I thought they were with like pencil, and then you said
Yeah, I thought it was pencil this whole entire time. I've seen your drawings before. I was just like, wow, that pencil skill. But now it's that penmanship.
Dude.
Yeah. Because pencil, when I was younger, pencil, like when you carry your sketchbook around, it smudges and smears. And so like 2 weeks later, you look at your drawing and it's got all the stuff everywhere, which my brain, I don't like that at all. I don't like stuff getting undone. So, I got the pens, and the pens are actually like, I tested a bunch of pens. I did like 10 different pens, did some cross-hatching testing, and ballpoint pens now are too good at bringing out ink. So the crappy pen is the one that's actually the best because it's really, really, really dry ink, which makes it look like pencil. So they're like about 50 cents each.
Wow. Okay. So you heard it here first. You want to paint with, you want to draw with pens. You're going to have to get the crappy pens because, I was going to say that because a lot of ballpoint pens, once you put it onto the paper, it leaks out all the ink. And sometimes when you leave a big botch of of ink in there, and it can smudge too, but apparently it doesn't because this is the type of pen that doesn't leave out a lot of it. That's pretty cool.
Not too much of ink. It still does the little glob on the side, and I just get my finger and clean it off like that.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. And I started doing these drawings, and they were real fun. My partner's bringing me some snacks. Nice one, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So I started doing these drawings, and they were just for me. And somebody said, "Oh man, you should go and sell these at one of the conventions." So we have like a Comic-Con in Australia, and so I started selling these at the conventions, and they sold really well.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. It's really nice to see how you kind of you have that work, that little flow with your hand. Obviously, it's all practice. It's not like one day you woke up and you're like, "Hey, I'm amazing at drawing."
Yeah, no. Yeah. No.
I'm
so
speechless on
one
this.
of the things that I do want the audience to know. So when we first contacted Joshua and we kind of mentioned, "Hey, it'd be really nice to have you on the show," He was like, "I'll be on the show. But you guys have to promise me that the show is not going to be about me 100%." And that really spoke to us because it kind of challenges us as hosts to create a show around, I guess, something that isn't the guest, right? It's a very easy kind of thing to do, being like, okay, so we have this person, let's build a show around them, do it over. So what we're basically going to do right now, we're going to run down through, like, the question said, who are you? So who is Joshua Darrah? And we're going to jump straight into slide number 9, where we chose this picture to better symbolize and portray who he is as a model builder, because these pieces right here for to us speak to what he really likes to do, which is open up that armor and look inside into the inner frame. So what can you tell us about this, Joshua?
This was when I was maybe a year into building, and I got the Strike for RM, the remaster. Nice, and I really enjoyed the building process of building up the inner frame underneath. Seeing all those mechanics just clicked my head. It was so nice. But of course, you cover it up with the armor, and it felt like it turned it just into a bit of a toy-looking thing. And I wasn't painting my models at this point, and I wanted some way to make them look more realistic. So I thought, man, what if I just started cutting holes in there so you could still see those little pistons and stuff underneath the armor? And I realized that for like the thigh here on the left, I could just cut that whole piece out. And that hole was cut there because there's that little sliding piston sort of part on the thigh of the Strike. So I wanted to see that. And then I thought, I might just cut out that little hole around that little rivet sort of thing. And then the piece on the right side, the back of the thigh, that was just one big piece. And what I had noticed was there were 4 kind of connecting pegs, slider pegs. And I thought, if I cut this in the middle, each piece will have 2 pegs. It'll still go into its home. And I can kind of file that out. Because what I liked was the, I think the RG Arc 782 was the first kind of super realistic looking kit. And it had like little sliding kind of mechanisms when it would move. So what I'm trying to replicate here on the back of the thigh is like a sliding opening going like kind of like opening up like that. Of course, it doesn't actually slide, but try to give that effect. So I guess my style early on was about making like a sort of semi-open, and that's what we cut.
Okay, so I think, is he there?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
He's
cool.
there.
Cool.
Hey.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
hear the end about the sliding? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was scared. I was like, oh no, he's gonna freeze.
Yeah, we got a delay here. We're doing good.
Okay, cool. So when you mention all of this, it's really important and really surprising that you mentioned that you started doing this a year after you started modeling, and you kind of figured out a way to make a kit your own without having to actually paint it, which is the route that a lot of people go immediately into. Is I'm going to paint this kit a different color and make it my own, as opposed to you, which we can see in that picture that you already started scribing. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
This wasn't my first detailed kit. I think I had practiced on the old. Nobody's ever seen that kit because I never finished it. That's where I learned my scribing, and it is terrible scribing. It is horrible and messy and bad. This was I think I have a Sword Impulse MG. That was my first one when I did a full scribe. So this is maybe second or third into scribing this kit. So my scribing was getting more comfortable here.
Nice.
Dang.
So I know that that Kevin and Derek are huge fans of this kit. So Kevin, what do you think of number 10, man?
When I first looked at the picture, I was just like, I don't remember seeing my kit looking like that. Right? Yeah, like the Strike is definitely hands down one of my most favorite units. Next, I'm speechless still, just seeing it and just listening to how you're saying that by looking at the pieces, seeing how many areas there's holding the actual piece in. So like you're saying, there's 4 in one section. Oh, look, I can just take the middle part out and then still make it look good and hold properly without having to do any real modifications besides just doing what you want for looks. And just seeing how everything is so split apart makes it look so much more real than just a drawing from the anime, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
seeing it as it is like this makes me think like if it actually moves, that's how those areas would shift around in the robot itself. Right. So I think
Yeah,
that's
you
really,
totally
really
got it.
cool.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, so that's like I said, one of these. This is I feel is a very big hallmark of your work. Is kind of doing the open hatch kind of style, and I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people are asking, like right now, we have a question. Khalid says, "How do you cut like that? I never understood that." And so it's like a lot of people understand. They want to figure out how you really go about cutting everything in these pieces. You know, like how such a clean cut to look inside. And
It's cutting it's kind of the easy part. I never use my nippers because if you cut something with your nippers, it applies a lot of pressure on the plastic and will kind of break it. So
Yeah.
I usually fiber and just scrap eventually comes apart. Or if I want to do a center hole, like in the front of that thigh, I use my really fine drill bits and drill a bunch of little holes that are just barely touching, and then I use my hobby knife to scoop that all out. And then the majority of the time is using a really small file and really neatening out those cut lines with your file. And then you can also scrape with your hobby knife sideways. So it's a lot of file, then look at it and see if it's level. No, I need a little bit here, and then teeny tiny bit of file. And so it's a lot of refinement time. But I think it's super rewarding. Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
definitely. Yeah.
That's super intricate. Like I'm like thinking, it's like holy shoot, like you made it, you nailed it so perfectly when you cut it. It's like like do you remold this somehow or something? And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. It's just looking at it. It's like where does he begin, and then where does it end? Right. It's
And what you're not seeing though is some of the cuts. Like say on the front shin part, there's that big kind of trapezoid cut in. That's probably not what I originally planned. I make mistakes all the time, and I have to suddenly go, oh, okay, I got to file that even bigger. I made a mistake and did the wrong angle there. So some of these cuts aren't how they were meant to be, and some of the panel lines weren't where they were meant to be. I have to sometimes turn a mistake into a detail. So, but you don't see that because you weren't there. It looked like it was all intentional.
it was all.
But the key on this one is the feet. What I always liked was the kits that had the moving toe, but some of these master grades don't have it, and so that front piece on the front of the stripes, that's still joined, I think, to the back piece, unless I might have split it. But I try and separate it so it looks like the toe piece can really move a lot, even though it can't. And so I do that a lot on. I think I've done that on all my kits, like my Zeta and my Gab 4. They've all got that faux toe kind of cut in there.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's very sick. One of the things that we mentioned when we were talking about you, us three, we were like, man, it's like he takes a master grade that's an old one and turns it into a 1/100th real grade. All these details that you're able to bring out to it, the whole fact that it really sticks to reality. It does look like the real grades. Like Bandai is catching up to you. It's like, oh man,
Catching up.
Well, that's funny you say that because newer master grades, when they come out and they have all heaps of color lines on them, I go, oh man, I can't work on this. I love the base where there's nothing on there. So like the Sazabi for a car, I'll probably never detail one of those because it already has so many details on it. And so it makes me a little bit bummed because I'm like, oh, I'll probably never detail a 1/100 Sazabi unless I get the old 100 or something like that. So it disappoints me a little bit when the newer kits have heaps of details because it means I don't really detail them up. They've already got it. So maybe if I had started building later in Gunpla, like now where you've got like the freedom and more detail on them, I might not have started doing the kind of sweet. They're already detailed. I don't need to. So it's kind of the time that I came into it, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, definitely something that that I feel a lot of people. I think it's more of the old OG builders, such as yourself, really like is having that blank canvas. So it's really cool. It's really cool to see what you can bring out. But going on about who you are as a person, another thing we chose to really kind of portray you is your before and after pictures.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So I know
Yes.
Kevin is a big fan of your before and after pictures. So I'm going to let him kind of walk us through these before and after pictures that we see here.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's very rare to see a lot of people do before afters the way you do it. The poses are pretty much exactly the same. Like when we're looking at the impulse, you see it as it is, and then you see your design on it, and you can see the amount of difference and timing and intricate changes on that. It's just phenomenal. If we go back down like to slide 14, even just seeing the regular foot to the new one and seeing everything you've done, and this is not super rare, but it is a bit more rare from what I've seen in the past. You actually show what you do and how you do a lot of the work. Like I can look at this foot here, and not saying that I would, because I would never get to that point in life right now. I wouldn't be able to replicate that, right? But seeing it inspires me to be able to, hey, you know what? That type of style is gorgeous. That's something I could learn. I wouldn't ever try to copy it, but I would try to learn and expand it on my own, just to see where I can level up from learning from other people, right? And that's what I love about seeing your before and afters with all your work. It's just like, wow, I've never thought of being able to do it this way. I never thought I could cut here, right? So it's really cool. Sorry, it's just really cool. And,
No. I think it started.
actually
It might have
seeing
began because I like do the detailing, and so then I'm working on the feet, and then I finish them, and I'm like, oh, I even forget what they look like originally. So I thought, sweet, I'll start to take photos of these so I can show people afterwards. Because even explaining this hobby to people who aren't into the hobby, you go, here, I do all this detailing, and they can't really see the difference. So I thought having the photo, like the sword impulse, that was my first one. So I grabbed the Darrah photo to show people this is the difference, and they go back and forth. But then I started doing it when I was sharing my Sananju work on Instagram, and I'm like, hey, this will be cool if people can see the before and after, just so they can see what was done. And like you said, the learning process as well. They go, wait, that part, on the top of the foot, that little piece there, oh, so that's been cut as well. Oh, I see. Otherwise, it's all a bit like magic, and you can't decipher it. And there's a lot of Japanese builders that I like on Twitter, and when they post before and afters, I really like that because I can see the difference. I think it might have even been Shunegi, the 2013 winner of GBWC in Japan, who had the new Verka, like one of the best builds that I've ever seen. And he has a lot of side-by-side photos of the piece. And it really helped me see what the work he had done. And so I kind of wanted to do that. And plus, it's fun for me to look at because I'm like, that's right, I did all those little notches in the panel lines. They were so bloody hard to do. Oh, my God.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, because like just looking at just the foot or the thrusters even, you looking at the original on the left, and then you look at the after on the right. To some people, they'll probably think that's a resin kit, right?
It's a resin conversion almost.
It's a resin conversion, yeah. But in truth, just kidding. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're literally taking a kit and making your own kit. In a way, if that kind of makes sense. Like here's Bandai's, but here's Josh's, and it's still your kit, but no, now it's actually mine. type of image. So it's really cool, and yeah. One day.
My question to you regarding your work in progress pictures and your before and after, how much time do you really dedicate to getting the exact same pose back when you take the picture? Like how does that work for you?
Yeah, it takes a bit of time, and when you're doing all the detailing, all you want to do is get in there and detail, and stopping and taking a photo really slows it down. So sometimes on some builds, like I think the Zeta Plus, I took photos all the way through, but then like the Gab Fleet, I didn't take heaps of photos as much as that. So I'm like, I don't want to do too many photos because it does slow down the creative flow and just the joy you're having. But I know people like it, and I know I like seeing it, so it takes a bit of extra time. Getting the right angle is right. During this photo taking, I didn't have a light box set up, so I had to manually cut around these in Photoshop and whiten out the background and stuff, so it was a lot of extra work.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a bit lazy with not setting up a good background. That meant I had to spend more time in Photoshop. But it takes a bit of time, but it's not too much, and you get into the routine of it. You're working on a new part, you go, cool, I'll take a photo here, and you take your original photos at a certain angle and just have them on your phone, and this is just all done with my phone. And then just go back and make sure you can go, okay, what angle was it, and set it up with I use a lot of blue to get things in the right. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that you mentioned how the whole aspect of trying to take pictures and showing people what you're doing really takes away from maybe building a kit sometimes. For some people, obviously you can get lost in building and detailing, and you forget out of, just because you're having too much fun, you're like, dang, I should have taken a picture of that. And because that happened to me the other day. I did something to my kid, and it's like, I should have taken a picture of that. It is very difficult, but it's a very big sign of your discipline when it comes to wanting to show and what exactly you want to portray. Now, going back to the identity question, when I first mentioned to my wife that I was having Joshua Darrah on my show, she's like, "Who is that?" And and I took.
You need to support her.
Yeah, she's like, "Who's Joshua?" And I told her, "This is Joshua," because she loves the Sinanju. The Sinanju is one of her favorite kits, like one of her favorite suits. She loves them. And I showed her this picture on slide 17. I'm like, "This is Joshua. This is what he does. This is him." And she's like, wow, okay, now I know who Joshua is, because she hasn't seen anybody else do this kind of work. And she was really happy to see somebody give love to a Sinanju like this. But this is actually, this whole Sinanju process, where did it take you?
Where did it take me? What do you mean?
So where did you present this Sinanju?
Oh, GBWC. That's what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
There
where
we
did
go.
it take you?
I love it. You're leading. You give me this red carpet, and I'm like, wait, what do you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to do. And you're like, please just walk. There's a sign there. There's a script. No, yeah. This was. I began this. What was it? I think I had finished maybe my third impulse, and I was like, I want to work on something else. And this Sinanju, I had put LEDs throughout every thruster, maybe 6 months before. And that was a whole journey in itself and really cool. And then I'm like, maybe I'll work on this Sinanju. And I thought, I want to make it a bit more realistic, a little bit more as if it was a real grade or around when like the 1100 RX-78 was, kind of built in the same factory. So a bit more angular, a bit boxier, a lot more panel line details. And I started working on it. And then somebody had said, man, you should enter the GBWC Sinanju Stein. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I thought, man, I might just enter this in. I'll just finish it off and go down to Sydney and see all the Aussie builders down there. So I ended up spending about 6 months on it. And the night before was possibly the worst night of my life. I've had a pretty good life, so it's scalable. It was not finished. I was painting. I didn't sleep the whole night. I had to catch the plane the next morning to go down to Sydney. And I had lost a thruster, and I was starving and no sleep. And I ended up having to get down to Sydney, and I was painting the sleeves. They were all gold, so I still had to paint the black in between, like the reverse wash kind of thing.
Oh.
But I didn't have time to reverse wash. So what I did was I hand painted matte black in between all the gold. And the technique was that I put a lot of paint in there so that it would osmosis and fill out everything. And because it was matte, luckily it dried a very uniform surface. In the hotel, painting that and then blow drying it just before going down to the GBC to set it up. So it was panic. It was horrible, but I got it done. I was there with my brother, and I dropped it off and just went home and just crashed for like 5 hours. And I had forgotten one of the thruster bells had fallen off at some point. It was in my living room. And I was setting it up, and I nearly felt sick. It was horrible. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything. So there was just this open LED just sitting there. And I ended up getting first place that year. This is like back in 2015 when the criteria and the judging was different, kind of how it is now. So I got a lot more points for the meticulous kind of detailing. And it wasn't painted, which was a big deal because I didn't paint the outer armor of my kits back then because I still to pose them and hold them, and it would rub away paint, and I didn't like that. I still like getting my hands on my figures. So it wasn't painted, and so those little white details, that's actually white plastic joined on. And so I didn't get points for the paint, but the judges, one of the Aussie judges, was talking to Kawaguchi, and Kawaguchi's like, it doesn't have paint, so it's going to lose a lot of points. But the Aussie judge was like, but you can't tell it's not painted. And Kawaguchi was like, okay. So it was a little bit of a controversial placing. But I ended up getting that year, which was great. And I got a phone call from Ryan from Hobbyco, and I flipped out. And I'm like, I've got first place. What the hell? It was crazy. So, yeah, it was such a crazy experience.
Wow. That's a hell of a story. Like, what the heck? you had to make it along the way. And it's like, we have guests before, like even Terry, like, who travels and still try to build at the same time. But that's a whole different grade to go to GBWC with a partially complete kit and not feeling good either. Wow, you're a trooper, man. You're such a trooper.
Yeah.
So what we can tell now, especially from hearing all your from this whole telling of the story, is how you're really. I feel like you have a way of kind of solving problems that I've seen in only a few other builders. A lot of people, I think that's what really separates a good builder from like an amazing builder, is the solving of problems. And the moment you face something, you're like, how do I solve? How am I going to go through this? And yeah, for right now, it was just the, like you said, the hand painting and trying to figure out how to do all of this. And then you lost the thruster and you're like, oh God. But back into the basic language of who you are as a modeler, seeing how you were able to really come up with a solution to your vision and how you were able to execute it is really inspiring, honestly. And I really hope that, for the people out there, if you find a problem when you're building, it's not really about, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's how am I going to be able to do it? Which way is the best way for me to actually tackle that problem? And I think Joshua really kind of presents that, and that's really cool. Then
I have a lot of problems that, like my Zeta book, there are so many problems, and there's hours and hours and hours of me just trying to solve it. I can't get it. I have to go away, and then I find a part, and it works, and it's this hallelujah moment, and it's fantastic. So if you think I don't have to problem solve for hours, you are dead wrong. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
There you go, guys. Everybody has problems when they're building. But then we have this beautiful, beautiful picture of this guy right here. Oh, it's you behind all of your little pictures. So what is up
little
with this?
pictures? Little.
That's actually, I'm glad you said that, because there's a tiny little story. A friend of mine that I lived with, I have my desk this years ago, and I was into Transformers as well, and I had my Gundams out and stuff. And her dad came over, and he comes over and he goes, "Oh, look at all your little machine men." And he wasn't being patronizing or anything like that. He was just calling them what they are, because they're normal people, the little machine men. And she teases me about it, and my friends tease me about it now, little machine men. So that's funny that you said. Yeah,
that's what I say. What little?
So,
yeah. And this is at one of the local conventions here in Australia. I started doing the drawing, and somebody said, "Man, you should sell some of these prints." And I had just been drawing for myself, so I hadn't thought of that. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it there. It's probably the only space where the demographic who know what Gundam are going to be. So I'll try it. And I sold so many that weekend. It was ridiculous. And I do a big post print in the back, because a lot of people at conventions, they have a lot of their prints stacked up behind them, like this big kind of tiled sort of kaleidoscope. Yeah. And I wanted to stand out a bit. So I went to my local print shop. We call it Office Works here. Like you might have a Kinko's or something. And I split up my Sazabi in Photoshop and made multiple A3s. So there's like 15, 16, or maybe 16 A2s there. And I was in my living room stick taping it all together. And trying to do that. Yeah, once I was making it, I could barely walk around it because it's so big. It doesn't look, it's big there, but it's really big in real life. And I had to put wood up the top, and I had this thick duct tape so it's strong enough and so it can hang there. And that's because I didn't want to spend $400 on a big print. I just spent like $3 on the black and white printing and a bit of tape. Yeah, and one guy bought this from me at the convention. He's like, "Man, is it for sale?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He took it home. And it's really long. Yeah.
That's
so
huge.
I think I sold maybe each. I don't know where he put it, but he was happy. I guess it just fills up a wall. Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
That's amazing.
It's a crazy story. Wow. Yeah, no, definitely props to you on your drawing because I feel like especially for a lot of people that we've had on the show that are really in that category of builders or really people who can visualize these, the machines, the little machine guys, right? And
Yeah, little machine man.
and so for you guys out there in the audience, we have a really special episode today because we're going to talk a little bit about his design, the way that he goes into designing. So these pictures here on slide 20 through 22, we see some work in progress pictures of his Zeta with some line art, which he found, and how he was able to kind of sit there and try to solve the problems to replicate the line art because the model didn't match it up, right? So he's like, how am I going to do this? So can you walk us a little bit through your process just on these pictures real quick?
So the Zeta plus C one, I got that early on in my building career. It's such a weird sentence, but I loved it because it looks super realistic and mechanical and.
Oop. Uh-oh.
Transforming. It looked like it was a real thing that could really exist. So I had built that kit years before, and I had one just sitting there, and I loved it. And then I saw some line art. It must have been in one of the it must have been the Zeta Master Archive book. If people don't know about those Master Archive books, you need to get those books. They have artwork like this, the piece on the right here. So detailed, so good. And I saw the Zeta plus C1. I'm like, oh, that looks so good. Then I looked at my model, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the proportions are so different. That's why this new one looks so good. And I had always wanted to detail the C1. And so I thought, man, I'll detail it, but I got to make these changes because those legs being longer look so much better. And then this head needs to be smaller, and I got to change the shoulders and make the wings longer. So I decided to do this, and this was just fun for me. Getting the original line art from the manual from the C1, which is on the left, the new line art from the Master Archive book, and then kind of adjusting it in the middle in Photoshop and working out what I needed to change back and forth. So like the big piece at the lower thigh needs to extend. The kneecap needed to be made longer. The gap between the lower thigh and the top of the lower leg needs to show a bit more inner frame. So kind of experimenting with that. And so, yeah, breaking it up and doing it a little bit like an engineer would do some drawing like that. Totally unnecessary, but it's fun to do it. So the process of doing these drawings themselves was fun. You go.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I don't think it's unnecessary. I think it's a very handsome idea to really think, okay, I'm going to actually paint out what I need to do. Because sometimes you just start going and you're like, well, how do I start? Where do I go? And you kind of take longer when you plan it out. And that's what I really admire about you, Joshua, is your planning. I think I mentioned it to you in a message when we were talking. I'm like, your planning is out of this world. And it's really, it's so, like I said, and I'll say it again, it's really nice to see you be able to visualize what you want. And it's important to also sometimes know what you want before you even begin. A lot of people like to go free for all and like, okay, what do I do? Start adding. But when you have a vision to follow and to get to, that's when things I feel start getting easier because you have a template to work with. And easy is a very kind of weird word to use because what you did was not easy. So by the way, guys, all of this work you can find in his book, which we will talk about a little bit in a little bit, but we're going to keep talking about his design process here. Then we have the arm. So with the wings, which I remember you clearly talking about in your book about how you wanted to really get those like fighter jet wings, right?
Yeah. I wanted the wings to be a lot longer in the artwork. The wings come really far down, and I don't know, it just makes them look cooler. So the wings I really want to make longer. So they were actually. I don't like to use pla plate much because I find it softer than the Bandai plastic. I like a bit more the rigidity of the Bandai plastic. So to extend the wings, I didn't just want to use pla plate because I knew I had to do a lot of panel lining on it, and it scribes differently. So I used some wings from the Delta Plus. I think I had 2 kits of that, or I got a second one, and used his wings. Glued them together, filed it all down, made it all super smooth and everything, and attached it to the kind of the joint mechanism, and then scribed from there. So scribing the wings was really fun. I looked at a lot of planes to see what kind of panel lines they had, and what kind of like flaps and ailerons or something. I'm not sure what they're called. The little things that go like this. Yeah. Putting those in so it looks super realistic. Yeah, and I love that thing. I haven't put the Zeta on display for a couple of years now, but whenever I do, I spin it around, and I'm like, oh, those wings are so good. So the testament to this project being a success is that if I look at it and I still just go, oh, then it's just a winner. It's so good. Because, yeah, it didn't place at all in GBWC, and I don't care because I freaking love the thing. So it was worth it. Yeah. But the planning out here, this is like when I was younger and I would draw, I would want to just draw with ink straight away. Say I'm drawing like Spider-Man. I start with his head and then draw his arm down. And by the time I got to his like legs, I'm like, oh, his arm's too long and I don't have room on the page and he looks really deformed. This other leg's too short. So you do a lot of base geometrical sketching. That's what I do now to block out the sketch so that when I go to actually doing the detail work, I'm free from any wondering if this is going to work out. And I can just dive into the actual work itself. So the same with the C1 here. Working out these proportion changes, I'm like, the wing top needs to be higher, the fuel tanks need to extend, the wings need to be longer, this much. Okay, now I just get to do it. So as I was extending, I wasn't second guessing whether or not I was extending the right amount while doing it. So it kind of made it more enjoyable because I had done the planning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's respectable. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Respectable, man. He's like a builder, you're building a house. You drew all your blueprints, and here's the modifications, and you're like, it's really cool. Like the execution after that. I was like, wait, you instead of using plot plates, because I was thinking, how much plot plates were you using? But then you're using other kits too to mash it up. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually. I wish that Bandai would release their own plot plate, and it was the exact same plastic from the model kits. Because I would buy that up. Yeah, that's what I want
immediately.
Ooh, yes.
I was gonna add one thing that I remember Kevin mentioning, because Kevin, so for us as host, we kind of have our own. The way that we gel together is very much that. For example, Kevin is the more seasoned veteran of builders. Derek is more. And he's kind of coming into getting into customizing, and I'm literally just in the middle, like I don't know where I'm going. But Kevin really had a keen eye for the fact that you don't like rounded parts too much.
I don't, because I think the angular makes it feel a little bit more realistic to me. It makes it just feel more mechanical. So yeah, that's definitely it. But I love like the Marasai. I love the Marasai, but I still do think I like it a little bit more angular.
Yeah. Oh, angular definitely for sure.
Yeah, and we can see that on slide 22 on the thigh area of how from the original you wanted the line art, and you're like, okay, this dome thing, it's gotta go.
Yep, totally.
Definitely just cut it out, and then. What's up?
Even looking at this now, I forgot that I did the top of the thigh. I cut it off, and I made this detail to make that little. I forgot I did that. Wow, cool.
There we go. Just remembering the good old days, right? Making more. So, speaking of which, special episode. Today we're gonna try something different. This was actually Josh's idea, so we're not gonna take any credit for this. Josh was kind enough to say, "Hey, so what if I show you guys live how I go about designing my details?" So what we're going to show you now is we're going to show you his screen. He has Photoshop open, right, on his side. And we're going to show you in real time how he designs. So if you're watching, take some notes, listen in. This is the masterclass brought to you by GTS. Thank you to Joshua Darrah. So the whole floor is yours, man.
Yeah. Okay, you guys can see that okay as I'm moving it around?
Yes, perfect, my man.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so we've just got the MG Jagan here. It's a different variation. The shoulder's a little bit different. So what I do when I do my detailing is I just draw in pencil on the part itself, and I erase it out and then draw more panel lines, erase those out, and I take photos as I go on my phone so that I can test out different designs. So what I'm going to do is let's just do some detailing on the shield over here. And so what I'm going to do is, let's go. I'm going to draw... Let's say we're going to split this shield. Let's put a line right across the middle here, like this, and then one down here like that. Okay, so I've got two lines there. Okay, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a folder here called 1, and I'm going to make a folder here called 2. And let's turn off 1, and I'm going to go back to this one. And let's put that panel line here, and that. Okay, so what I have is I have two options here. I have a panel line here in the middle or panel line here up the top. Okay, so do you guys like the one at the top or the one at the bottom?
Ooh.
I like the one at the bottom.
Really?
Bottom?
Yeah.
See, here we go. Controversial. Okay, so let's say the one at the bottom here. Okay, so what I might do is let's move this number 2 one. Let's move this one down a little further here.
Ooh.
So, say if we go like this, and then across like this. That. Okay, so now do you prefer one or the one at the bottom?
The one at the bottom.
Oh,
What's
yes. That bottom one is nice.
Okay, so what I've just done there, this is just what I do when I build. You don't know what you prefer until you see something to compare it with. So I think I like the one at the bottom more as well. So I don't like the one in the middle because what it does is it makes both parts have the same visual weight. This is right in the middle. It's cutting it right across the middle here. So the eye actually, I feel the eye doesn't know which part to look at, so it can't rest anywhere.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas with this one, there's a bigger part here, and the eye comes down here and rests here for a little while, but it can come back up and rest up here. It doesn't feel like it's going back and forth. So this is a kind of aesthetic that I believe to be true, but it's different for everybody's eyes. So if I was doing this in real life, I'd be doing these pencil sketches. I take a photo on my phone, and then I flip back through 10 different ideas. So let's try one more. So we like number 2 there. So I'll delete that one. Let's put it in another folder, and I'm just going to call this one 3. And now let's try another one. Let's go, how about we go here like this, and then we go down and down like that. Okay, so one more check. Do you guys prefer that one or still the one?
Oh, no. What?
Bottom.
There's something.
Which one do you prefer?
I still like the one at the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bottom. It flows back to me. It flows better. How the shield aims down.
I'm a newbie.
Okay, so I'm so glad you did that because you'll do another design and you go, oh, that looks cool, and you go back and you go, no, the original one still wins, and that happens a lot for me when I'm doing my designing. So now we're gonna keep this design here, and let's put in some other details. So I'll call this one number 4. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so what I could do here is, let's say, let's put in another panel line up the top here. Like that. And now, do you guys like that, or do you think it's too much?
I think that's too much. I think that's fine because it kind of, to me, in my eyes, it kind of goes to realism. Plates would be put together. You're not going to make them complete, so you're going to have to put them, right, which is what I feel. Not to take away from your masterclass, but that's what panel lines should be. If I follow the person that I follow with scribing, who is Robbie Pla, who says you want to show the separation of metal sheets or parts and make this into realistic. So to me, that really does help add more to the one at the bottom, so they kind of flow together. Okay,
no, that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this here. See this one. This one's the delete one. So I'm going to keep that part there. But what I'm going to do is let's bring this down a little bit here, because I'm going to do that thing that you said with the part replication.
Ooh.
There.
Let's go here.
Yeah.
Nice.
There. Yes.
What?
So now we have that one or this one.
Nope. The other one. Yep.
The other one?
No.
Here? The panel on top?
Yeah, the panel on top. Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. So again, this central panel line, that's say like our main panel line, and we've changed this one on the side. So even one panel line can be good. Experiment and do pencil lines with putting a different panel line somewhere else. Okay, so we're working on that. So now let's do, so a tempting thing that somebody might do is, let's put in 5 here, is this is when you should know when to stop putting in the same kind of details. So let's say I put this down here. This down here, so we have those. It's an option. I'll keep that there, and let's do another option. So instead of putting in another panel line, let's do some notches. Good old notches. Let's go 4. What about if we do, let's do notch here, a notch here. Okay. So tell me what you prefer. Do you prefer the 2 notches or do you prefer the 2 panel lines?
For the 2 notches.
2 notches, yeah.
Ooh.
Notches? Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
What?
I like that.
Okay. So as a third option,
There is.
so let's say you go with the 2 notches. I'll get rid of the 2 lines there. So instead of those 2 notches, so let's now go. Let's go not delete, duplicate these 2 notches, and let's put them one here, and then one over here. Up a little bit. Okay, so now all we've done, we still have 2 notches. Do you prefer them there, or do you prefer them down the bottom?
The top.
The top.
I like both.
Up. Yeah. So sometimes you'll find that you like both, and it's pretty hard to decide. So then, how about, let's see if that looks better. Do you like it there at the top, or do you like it down the bottom?
Ooh.
I still like it at the top.
I
myself.
like it at the top too, yeah.
The top, because then you get the little bit of
cool.
Damn.
So what we're getting here is, you see how it's kind of like having more dominant. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, this piece up, because we have a big panel line and we have these 2 notches and these other 2 notches. This is what I like to call building details on the details, but they're like systems.
Oh.
No.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Hopefully not. Ah!
Hello, Josh. We're having technical difficulties, guys. Give us a second. Let's see what happened. Let me message him and tell him that he
He cut off there.
he cut out. No, come back.
Come back. I like the detail. Shoot, but this is so neat, actually. I never ever thought you can use Photoshop like this as a way to caricature and draw and get detail lines onto this.
And really visualize what it can look like in the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm reading here in the comments. Real quick while we sort this out, we have a lot of people here right now. Thank you for watching. Han is here, Hazaki, Johannes. We have Noble. We have I know that we had Frosted Snow earlier. She's a big fan of Joshua's. But right here, we're talking about. I think Hazaki said realism can't be really applied to sci-fi mechs. I completely disagree with that. I think that it can be applied to it if you imagine them in real life. I think it also just depends on how you want and what's your personal style. So, for example, for me, I like to go more of like, if they actually existed, where would a certain separation of parts be for engineers to get to and do maintenance? But like he said, I think it was Derek who actually put it. Gunpla is freedom, and it's true. I mean, if you don't want to look at it realistically and just kind of keep it in the fantasy part, I think it definitely works out, as long as it's up to you. It really is up to you. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Kevin?
No, Derek is right on that. Gunpla is freedom, and when I look at a kit, I don't see it as a sci-fi image for myself. I see it as something that's realistic, and where customization comes into play. How I see it is, if this was real, where all these other areas are and all these designs are, like you were saying earlier, you're not building one shield from one giant piece of metal. It's not one giant piece of Gundanium metal, right?
No.
So so having those panel lines, those notches, does split up the realism of what it could be if they were actually to build it and engineer it. Because we know, like we've all watched Gundam. The shield gets damaged.
Yeah.
In real life, if that area get damaged, they just take that panel off and they'll put a new panel on. Where in the cartoon world, it's one new sheet all over again, right? But we all know in real life, you're not going to be replacing sheets all the time, or else our citizens here are going to be paying taxes up the yin yang for the military.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, it's not about whether I'm wrong or whether you're right, and it's like you mentioned it, right? He says, in other words, there is not just one way to do things. You have many ways and styles, of course. One of my favorite builders, and he's actually become my favorite builder up there with Saintism is Ryan Lau. And when I was working on my kit, he actually talked to me about, hey, I asked him, hey, how do I go about panel lining like you do, or what's your approach to? And he told me, well, kind of think about it the engineer approach. If you were looking for maintenance, how would you get to this part easier? Where would you put that hatch? Where would you put that latch, or those little notches to get into them? And that's, I think, a really big aspect of things. What do you think, Derek, being the Gundam lore guy? What do you think in regards to that? Well, how do you like to look at Gundam?
Well, I go back to my work. Gundam is freedom. You design it however you want. It's like anytime when the whole lore video of all these different like variations of Gundam kits like ever come out, like do you ever really see, it's always the same streamlined sort of idea, right? No, like you see so many variances, and you make it and design it your own way. I just love the fact like how much we sort of just designed right now. This make me really excited to think I should get Photoshop. I want to design my own my own guy. Oh, hey Josh.
Okay, am I back?
You're back, buddy.
You're back, man.
Okay, thanks for waiting.
No
problem. Australian internet, yay!
Australian internet.
Saintism, who I mentioned to you yesterday when we met with you, he's on the chat. He's press F for Australian internet. So he's on there.
Oh man. Okay. So can you see my Photoshop again?
Yes.
Still on it?
Yes.
Okay. So I can't remember where we were, but I put this little line in here. This little.
Dang.
This is the reactions that you want to have even to yourself when you put it in. So do you like that one on the side or this one on the bottom?
Yes.
Oh no, the one on the side.
Yes, the side.
On the side.
The side.
See, isn't it interesting how all three of you definitely like the one on the side? Yeah. So, okay, so we added another one there. Now, let's see if I went, let's see if I make this too much. Let's see if I go across here. And if I put a panel line up across here, let's go, what am I doing? 2, I think. Let's go 1. Tell me if you think this is too much or if you like it.
Oh, man.
And then off. On. How about if I move it up to the top or the bottom? Let's get on the bottom a little.
Now it looks like it's an opening hatch of some sort almost through the panel. If you move it up or down.
Do you like
I like that idea.
Yeah. You like it more at the bottom than in the middle?
Oh.
Between the two, I would say the bottom.
Bottom probably.
Yeah.
Just because it's the nose of it. Yeah.
So this is what you do is you go, okay, I like it at the bottom, and then you turn it off and on, and this is just, you just look at the photos you've taken, and you go, do you guys prefer it there? Is it too much, or do you prefer it off? What do you prefer? Do you want it or not want it?
Personally,
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I think, because there's already a few other things on there already. Jeez.
It looks too busy.
So this is, it's like I've paid you guys and given you a script. That's
Really?
That's exactly what I think. That's exactly what I think as well. It looks nice, but it's a bit too much. So, of course, this is my style. I tend to err on the side of a little bit less detail. I don't want too much. The other thing, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to see about, let's add some kind of little brother, sister detail to this part down the bottom here. So I'll call this one 9. And let's say we put in a little rectangle. Let's make it there. Okay, so let's see if we put, let's put just one across here. Right. Rectangle, I need a line. Give me a sec. I know Photoshop, trust me.
You guys go reload the stream. There it goes. Here you go. Oh.
Yeah. Still got me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay. Okay, so this is where you start doing a little asymmetry. And I'm like, oh, okay. But what about, let's see if I can do a rectangle. So let's put in a little little hatch panel thing here. And let's give this, let's not fill this, but let's give it a little black stroke with one on the outside. stroke 1.5. Okay, and then we need to rotate this a little bit. So again, I'd just be doing this with a pencil. I wouldn't be doing this. I don't do planning out in Photoshop very much. Okay, so we have that. So we either have that little line there, or the rectangle.
Ooh.
You guys like either one? Do you think either one's too much?
I would say the line.
Simple.
Okay.
Right?
Like the line?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think the reason the rectangle looks weird right now is because it isn't exactly parallel on the sides how it should be going down. So
Gotcha.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it looks off. Yeah, so like that, I prefer the rectangle myself, and maybe a notch at the bottom. That's what I would personally do. But on the symmetry, I really like the asymmetrical look that you're giving. But that's just my opinion. Kevin likes the line. I don't know. How about you, Derek?
Oh, you just have to. You put me as the third line breaker, aren't you?
Yes.
Always.
To be honest, like what I thought is like the moment he had the 2 in there, I thought that was really neat, because the fact is like I thought, if you create the box, it is really cool because maybe there's something in there. Who knows? They can do and work on, right?
Again, that is perfect. So let's get rid of the line. So we put in this little box here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change. I want that to be a little bit center of the thing. So now we have a new detail. Let's add a detail to this detail. And this is where you start getting really tiny. But this is where it starts to give you that sense of realism. Okay, so let's go like 3, I think. Let's put in a little dude here.
Yeah, it's the little notch that I mentioned. There it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I was talking about. I was looking at that. I was like, that would be so neat. Like that's
Yeah,
like
I
something
definitely like that.
And so now we've got what's this whole part here? So now, do you like that part? And this is what I do. Do you like that part there, or do you like that part there, like that? So there, or down the bottom.
Man, you shouldn't have done that, because now I'm starting to like the top part more.
I like the top part.
Well, realistically, if we go by lore, if you put it higher into the middle where there's more components, it makes sense. There's more hatches up there, so technically.
Oh, that's some good logic. And this is the thing: is you what is it? That saying where you got to kill the puppies or kill your puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we love that one at the bottom, we got to kill it because the one at the top is telling us that it's the right one to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there we go. Okay. So I'm happy with that. Now, the other thing is, what do we have down here? We've got our original one. If I turn this off and on, do you guys still like that panel line down there, or do you not want it there?
I still like it.
I like it there.
Still need something a little bit there, yeah, just to show.
Okay, well, what about this? So, yeah, because this detail on its own, it's a fine detail, but it needs just a little bit more flavor.
Yeah, it's
so let's put
so real quick.
one.
Joshua, while you do that, may I ask you? So we have Hasaki here saying, why the nothing is behind it? It's a shield. That's so. What would your reasoning be for putting a rectangle there with the notch?
Oh, maybe there is some kind of sensor in there. I have no idea. I just think it looks cool and it makes it look more realistic.
Exactly.
But other people have different levels of realism. Like, people really get into the weapons and thinking this suit would have this weapon because it could recharge and it wouldn't have this weapon. I don't get into it that much. I just get into, if it was a piece of machinery, do I think there would be something there?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the shield probably wouldn't have panels like the thigh would. I'm just kind of using that as the guide for the little demonstration. But Hazaki's right. There might not be anything there. Or maybe there's a little teeny tiny little coolant tank something in there for something with the missile pod or something.
Yeah, they have missiles right there.
But if you don't think it fits logically, then yeah, don't put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, that was good work, Hazaki. Nice one. Okay, so then the next thing, let's go. Let's put one more thing. Let's put one of these up here.
Oh yes.
Tell me if you like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah?
I like that a lot.
Yep. And let's see, is there one other thing I could do? Oh, okay, so let's do this then. I'm going to try putting in... So I've just been doing panel lines and chisel notches, but let's do... let's go chisel. Let's So I'm going to see if I can draw this and have this work better. Let's go like this. You guys all know these shapes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So you're gonna carve into it, kind of.
Carve into it. Yeah. This may not work too well, but I'll see how it goes. But
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to replicate
What you do with a pencil?
shade. Yeah. Yeah, like that. And then let's go. I'm trying to see if I can do this in a realistic way. Okay, this may work. Let's see. And then delete. That.
Oh, wow.
Not delete. I want to erase this just a tiny bit. Let's go. Erase. Just a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that'll make it look a little bit. Yeah, we go. That's a little bit more chisel notchy. So, you guys like that, or do you like the notch?
I like
the notch.
I like the other two. The thing is, you can't get the full effect like you the card and give that three-dimensional look. That's when you start seeing the magic.
Oh, this is so tough.
I think I'll go this one. I'll go the line underneath there like that. So the other thing to remind yourself is you're going to also put some water slides on this if you are. And so those are actually going to be detail weight. So it's like you're getting a score for details. And each of these details is worth 10 points each. So you don't want to fill up to 100 if you're going to put decals on. You want to leave some detail points available for your decals. Yeah. And let's... okay, so then let's just do a quick little one. Say we've got these kneecaps here. And I don't know actually on this kit if these kneecaps are like kind of stuck with those lower thigh parts or not. But let's say, back to the cutting of pieces, let's say if I draw a little line in here, like that, that. I know what I'm doing. Come on, Josh. There. Okay, and let's darken that down a little bit. Okay, so we've got a knee cut there. So that's the first one. And then let's do another one instead. Let's go the front.
Oh yeah. So you're working on that slant that already exists, right?
Yeah. So this, if this kneecap is joined, then you use your drill bits to drill this out, and then use your file and hobby knife to neaten it. So, do you like that one, or do you like the one on the side?
I like the front more. The front of the knee.
I like the side one.
Oh.
Like the side one?
The reason why is because I feel like there's a lot of detail that a lot of people try to focus on the frontal detail, and I feel like some of the love needs to kind of spread to the sides.
Okay, so like then what about if you like the side? Yeah. Okay. So then let's do a couple little. How about we just do one notch here? It's not going to be perfect kind of placement, but that's a little bit of asymmetry there. Yeah, see, I initially don't like that straight away, so I'm going to just delete that one. And let's do a little. Let's go 1 pixel. Let's do a teeny tiny little. That still seems really. I need the line. Come on, the line. What do I need? Point. Oh, it's over here. Sorry, wrong pixels. Yeah. This isn't gonna be perfect.
Oh.
As he makes it look amazing.
Do you know what this is? As for a Jigen, like I know it's very plain as a just like a basic grunt suit, but shoot, you're making it more like an ace suit here.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want everything I work on to be like the best suit ever, and it's so sleek and fast and cool looking. Okay, so there we go. So do you like that little notch there, or without?
No, put it.
Yes. Put it there.
Yes.
Put it there.
Yes.
So what we have there is we have it's like teeny tiny little details on the kneecap, but they work with the kneecap really well. And what you'll notice is I tend to like putting details on the edges because that lets the eye rest here in the middle, but it goes out to the edges and goes, ooh, what's that on the side? And then it comes back and rests in the middle because there's a lot of empty space there. So I think sometimes there's a temptation to put, like if I just put a panel line right across this whole thing here, you may like that, or it may be too much, because if that's on every piece, if I put more and I put like a piece across here, right across the middle like that, and then I put a piece right across the middle here like this, it's not looking too bad, but do you see how it's breaking up every part into about the same sort of size part?
Yeah.
Whereas instead, if I did, let's get rid of those. I did down here. So what I'm doing is I'm going for the lower edges of things. I'm not going right across the middle like my eye might tend to make me want to do. And let's go one here, across here, and then up to there. Still too much, but do you see how they've gone towards the edges? And there's this space in the middle that lets your eye, it's a bit heavier in the middle.
Yeah. I think it's really nice to see your thought process, especially going towards the edges. I was just mentioning when we had our little with the internet there, I was mentioning to the audience how, talking about realism, my main, like, I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of people, but one of my favorites, and I don't know if you know him, Ryan Lau. He was, I talked to him a lot, and I've been working on my kit and panel lining. And I'm like, how do you design your panel lines? What is your philosophy behind it? And he told me, try to make panel lines around the edges of, and that's where your eye, like you're doing right now on the legs, and how you did on the shield specifically, where you added that one right near where the big notch is.
Big notch.
No, that one over there, right there on top by the missiles. That one's right on the edge of where it slants, and so that's where he would put it, because to him, he told me that makes sense to me realistically. And I like to see how both of you now, like I can hear what he, like I can see how two minds kind of think alike, especially on the edges, and it's really cool. It's really nice to see the philosophy kind of converge back together. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't know why the edge thing is a thing, but for me, it totally is. Yeah. If anybody wants to do any detailing, get some HGs, practice on some crappy kits that you don't care about, but do the pencil sketching. And the more you do it, the more you're going to learn what you like. The more you see different designs, then you get your own flavor, and you'll get quicker at designing what you like. There you go. Did you want me to try anything else out, or how's that? All good?
I think that's good.
No,
I think
that's good. I mean,
that's so wicked.
And so, like, one little tiny thing here. So, just my standard thing that I like doing is I like just putting in little. Go back to here. Just under the crotch, I'm just going to go like, okay, this little. Oh, lost you. See? I know, I'm still here. Okay, hard to sound. Yep, just a little line underneath the crotch here, like this. Wait, I got to rotate that just a tiny bit, like that, and then just opacity it down. So this will be a little chisel detail. And that's one single detail, and already that crotch looks twice as good to me now.
Yeah.
And so
little things,
little teeny tiny things like that, just a little chisel scrape in there like that, and it just implies to the viewer that there's something in there. That there's something that you would maybe a hatch or a latch or something that a mechanic would grab onto. I don't know why, and it's just a little crap chisel detail, but there you go.
It looks awesome, man. Damn. Wow. Yeah, so guys, I hope that you guys took something out of that little lesson in the way that he kind of, I think basically it is kind of putting as many designs as you can, compare picture, and eventually you'll find what you like. And I don't know if that's basically, maybe I'm butchering the lesson, but that's what I kind of.
That's it. That's totally it. Yep.
I think all of us would agree that we would love to have you here for hours and hours detailing that kit out. Obviously, we can't.
We can have too much fun with that one.
That would be very fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun because I think I did that I was going to do a commission for somebody and they wanted a victory. And I did a little mock-up in Photoshop of all the details they had. And I did it all in Photoshop, and then I turned the layers off. And I'm like, oh. And I turn them back on. I'm like, whoa. And it was only like panel lines and notch details or something like that. There's no modification. So So again, I don't use Photoshop to design up. I use pencil and real time with the kit. So don't think that that's what you have to use. And just do multiple ones, and often you'll find out that your early idea was actually the one that you like. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's really cool. Very nice. Well, going on. Thank you for the masterclass. So going on with his work, we just have some quick pictures. We're not going to ask you to tell us what it is. We just kind of put these here as an example of what you can find, along with all of this beautiful kind of step-by-step way that he went into when we were talking about solving problems. These are the problems that he was solving, just kind of figuring out how to do it. This is for your Zeta. He has a book out, so if we could just go real quick through these pictures, like you can see the before and after, kind of walking through the steps, and then we get to the beautiful before and after pictures that you have. I mean, these things are they're something else, dude. When you just real quick, when I read the part where you added the MG Jesta waist area to the Zeta instead of the little pegs it has, beautiful work there, man. It looks like it's part of the kit right there. It's
Thank you.
it's gorgeous. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to see more of this work, so it's basically just kind of showcase what he does. In his book, on slide 46, we have a picture of his book. It's the Zeta Plus project. You can find it on his website, joshdarrah.com. And then you guys click on the Zeta book. Then you go over there. And the best part, and this is what I really like about you, Joshua, you're very humble, man. This guy says you can pay whatever you want for it. This is my work. This is for you guys. I got a copy myself. And you guys go over there and support him. He does beautiful work. If you guys really want to get in there and pick his brain a little bit more, then this is what I recommend you guys to do. I know somebody in the chat actually mentioned it a little bit ago. They're like, oh, go buy his book. Go buy his book. So yeah, definitely go buy it. And yeah, so with that said, this is who Joshua Darrah is. It's just a little sneak peek. You can see a lot of other stuff. He's all over the internet if you guys look for interviews, and you guys can check out his stuff. But we're going to go on to viewer content, Joshua. We're going to so some of our...
This is where Mean Josh comes out. Yes. Get ready to have to cry.
So we got some viewer content. First of all, we're going to have some questions. We didn't get a lot of questions, but we got some questions from our Discord. Old School Skill, he's one of the OGs of GTS, of the GTS fam. So Derek, would you be kind enough to read the Old School Skill questions for me?
Definitely. So question number 1 here for you, Joshua. After you take a swig there. Good timings. So, how has the pandemic affected your view and approach to your hobbies right now? That's the first question.
It meant that I couldn't get Gundam kits from HLJ because they were only doing DHL delivery to Australia. So that meant I had to get some of my kits from my local shops. But that was kind of cool because it's fun to go out to my local shops. And because of the pandemic and I had a lot of spare time, I got the Double Zeta, the full armor, Faz Verka. That's a big, and it was expensive, but I'm like, but man, look, I'm not spending money going out, so I've got a little bit of extra money for hobby stuff, so that helped me justify buying a really big kit like that. And because I'm not doing any detailing of Gundam kits right now, so if it was pandemic hitting and I was doing that, I would be spending so much time doing detailing. But I'm not. My main hobby is my FPV drone flying. We couldn't go to parks to fly where I normally go like every couple days, so I was stuck to my backyard. And it's not fun to fly with the goggles in your backyard. It's such a small space. But there's a type of flying called line of sight where you don't have goggles, and it's like flying a Mavic. You learn how to fly it while looking at the drone. And it's really hard with these drones because they're not automated. If you don't control it right, it'll crash. So I spent about an hour every day in my backyard trying to learn this. And it turns around, so then left means right and right means left, and it was crashing and hitting the fence. But because of the pandemic, I've learned how to fly line of sight, and it's just as fun flying than with the goggles. I never would have learned it if the pandemic didn't hit. So it actually made me devote some time to something, and now I'm better and I enjoy my hobby even more because of that time. So I'm hoping that that's what happens to a lot of people. You get to spend more time with your hobbies, but we're lucky that this hobby is so good for being stuck at home.
Yeah, it is. I think Kevin said it best. It keeps us busy, but our wallet's empty. Or what did you say?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Busy, but our wallet's empty.
All right, nice. Very nice. Number 2.
Yeah. So question number 2 now. What do you see as the advantages and or disadvantages to an online GBWC in the future, possibly?
Online, I see it as only disadvantaged because I love the physical ones so much. But there would be advantages. The advantages of online means people who can't get to the GBWC can enter, which is just a big deal. And you also get to have that extra night that you might be traveling to the GBWC to work on your kit, so you don't have to freak out too much. It might the benefit also might be that people who maybe feel a little bit unsure of building a kit and taking it physically somewhere, and they might not feel that confident about it. Maybe they'll feel more confident just going, oh, it's just online, doesn't matter. So that might encourage more people to enter, which is always a good thing for this comp.
Yes.
So those are the advantages. And the what was it?
Disadvantage.
That's it. Yeah, I think and disadvantages is probably that you don't get to meet people that you've talked to online all year. You don't get to see their builds that they've been working on.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Because you're like, oh, dude's been working on that Jester, and you're like, here it is, and you just sit there and you go, tell me about it, and you get a lot of little huddles around each person's build as they're describing what they've done on it. You get to hang out, you get to go out, have some drinks or some food with everybody, and hang out and have that kind of social aspect, if that's your kind of thing. You get to see Kawaguchi come around if he comes around to your country. You get to meet the judges. You get to be at a convention or something where there's all like-minded people who are into similar sort of hobbies, which just makes you feel better about yourself in the hobbies that you like. Going, man, I like something that's cool because everybody else likes it and we're all having fun. So that's a disadvantage that you miss out on. But I'm glad it's still a possibility if they can do online. Online's hard for judging because it really is hard to see. Somebody's build may be not quality, but you can't tell from the photos. Somebody's build may be quality, and you can't tell from the photos. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Kevin, could you help me with Stormy's questions?
Yeah, for sure. So, Stormy asks, besides doing Plamo, no trend every 2 weeks or so, what are you up to into the Gunpla space? Are you focusing more in areas nowadays? What's a good beginner's aerial photography, Joan?
Oh man, questions. So I don't know if you guys have seen my show with Zach. The Plamo No Trend is a weekly show we do where we go through builders on Twitter and just gush over them and drool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just every week or two. Gunpla Space, I'm not doing any detailing or anything like that. I'll buy random kits that I just want to snap together. So I got the KH2. Zach hooked me up for one of those, and I want to get the HG Messer because I think that's just a beautiful kit. So I just still snap up kits every now and then. The super excitement isn't there like it was, but man, I've done it for years, and I may come back. Who knows? But I still love checking out any new release. So that release day we had the other week with all the kits.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Head exploding.
Stay tuned, everyone.
So I'm still into the hobby for that for sure. And other areas I'm focusing nowadays is the drone flying. I go out with my friends and we fly around. It's like we're birds chasing each other, and I make tracks and we run through and stuff.
Cool.
It's so much fun. So that's if you're Stormy, a good beginner aerial photography drone would be the Mavic Mini or Mavic Mini 2. Cheaper. Buy a kit that has extra batteries because you'll run out of battery and wish you had more batteries while you're out in a cool space. So try that. But I can't recommend the FPV drones enough. Check them out on YouTube. FPV, first-person view. It's real fun, too.
Nice. Cool.
We also have a question from Hasaki. His question was, when are you going to get back into Gunpla?
I was about to say, I can know what Hazaki's going to say. We have a bit of a joke. He commented on your guys' post saying, I'm so excited for the show. See what Josh is working on. And I'm like, oh, man, don't get too excited. And he's like, no. I don't know. I don't know when I will be. I anything that I'm interested in, I just follow what I'm feeling. So I may come back to it. I may never come back to it. But who knows? So yeah, I'll let you know one day.
Your legacy has been set. That's what I think is the important part. So it's really cool. So we'll see what happens with you. But other than that, we're really glad to see you doing what you enjoy, which is one of the things that I think you actually mentioned is the whole Instagram aspect and social media aspect. I think a lot of people get stuck in what other people want to see and what they should be doing instead of what I want to do, which I think is the most important part, is doing what you want to do. And, doing your drones. If that's what you love, go ahead, man, as long as it's making you happy. So very nice.
Yeah.
But
we're
bringing you back to the Gunpla scene real quick because we have some sorry, you were going to say something?
No.
I was going to say I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we have some user submitted pictures and we just want to get your quick critique on them, and we'll just go through those ones really fast. So the first one is Jetto Hobby. He is a good friend of the show's. He submitted his custom built SDCS Freedom, and so here are the pictures. So take a look at them.
Wow. Jeez, I'm not an SD person at all, but the panel lining I can see is super clean. The masking, of course it's SD, so there's just 100 types of masking that you need to do for this. Paint's real clean. I like the muted color scheme because I love like the deactivated kind of style. The shading on the eyes is really nice, and I like the slight metallic black, almost a dark gray black, and great masking. If I had to pick it, here's angry mean Josh. If I had to pick something, the rivets on the shoulders. This is the thing with detailing and scale. I feel those rivet holes are too large. I mean, who knows how big SD actually is, but I reckon an even smaller, teeny tiny drill bit would have been better. And the thing with doing rivet holes like that, if they're not lined up with each other horizontally or vertically, you notice it immediately. It is so unfortunate. I've had this before on my builds. So I do recommend that you sketch out where those holes are, and before drilling, get a pin, like a sewing pin, and do a little press into the plastic right at that part, and then your drill bit will stay there and it won't shift around. So that's the only nitpick I think I can have on that. The decals look nice and smooth, and nice placement of the decals as well. There's not too many, which I always like.
So real quick, just to let you know that on his left shoulder, the writing that he has, and I think it's Chinese. Sorry if that's wrong, but he did it actually with masking tape. He masked it out and then he painted it, so it's all it's not a decal. It's actually painted on there.
Oh damn! Okay, I thought that was a decal. Okay, damn. Who's this Jetto? Man, good work. Holy crap, that's great. Oh wow, yeah.
All right.
No man, great. This could have been over the top, and it's not over the top at all. Nice work. Cool.
All right. Next one we have is Lee Bostic, the Sakura Barbatos.
And see, I've done one full metallic, and that was a little high grade Delta Plus. And man, full metallics are stunning. Oh man, and the flowers, they must be decals. Don't tell me those are painted.
I think so. They didn't let me know, but if you're there, Lee Bostic, please let us know.
Oh man. Nice color choice. Nice placement of the flower decals as well. They're not spaced out everywhere. I can see that it looks like it's on the left arm mainly, and it runs down the torso, then it goes down the right leg. So that asymmetry, I just always love asymmetry. So that's really cool. And the flowers don't stand. If you were like a couple meters from this kit, you wouldn't see the flowers, which I also like, is details that are kind of sub-level. So the closer you get to it, the more the details are revealed. That's cool. And that has to do with the purple that he chose. If it was a lighter purple or darker purple, the flowers would have stood out more. So I like that. The metallic frame as well. So since there's so much metallic on the armor, I'd be curious what this would be like if the frame wasn't metallic, if it was more of a matte sort of gray, a dark gray or something like that, which gives a contrast between the zones on the kit. Not saying I don't like the metallic inner frame. It's just I'm always curious to see what that would look like. It looks nice.
All right.
And yeah, that's really good. And I like the little bronze piston tips there as well. Yeah. Oh man, that must be nice.
Very cool. There you go. Yeah. There you go. You heard it here, Lee Bostic. Thank you for bringing that in. Then we have Pope Stormy. So this is actually, I think this is Stormy, the one who actually asked the question. He's actually the one who read your book because he was mentioning it earlier. So Pope Stormy is Dynamis. So here we go. Some panel lining and stuff.
So I need to almost see if. Oh yeah. So he has put some extra panel lines in, hasn't he? Yes. Okay. And that's a testament to there being not too many panel lines, because it doesn't look like a panel line explosion as soon as I open it, which is a good thing. It's subtle. When you look at a kit and you go, oh, is that stock? Oh no, there's some panel lines they've added. That's good. That means you did it in a subtle way. The paint is just so smooth and clean. And I think that there's some pre-shading done or post-shading on the green. Good choice. The lower legs, how there's the on the back view, there's that slightly darker gray down the center of the lower leg. That's really good because you could accidentally go too dark on that gray and it would provide too much contrast. So the subtle difference there is nice. The green's great. The orangey yellow is great. Decal placement, I'm not sure if that's Canon standard, but that's nice. It just looks super clean. And yeah, and I'm not sure if the butt thrusters, that lighter gray on the inside of the interior there, if that's a separate part or not, but that looks like that might be masked, which is good attention to detail. That's nice.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Stormy's no rookie. This is super clean and good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, just beautiful.
Great. And then we have this one here. We have this. So this is a diorama. Sasabi.
Yeah. Wow, man, the white. I always love white mobile suits. I don't know why. They just look so, I don't know, just angelic or something. But it's so striking. So he's ripped off the head, full crossbone, got all the scratches on him. Oh man, heaps appreciating on the Sazabi and the gold. Yeah, this is cool. The scratches on the crossbone. This is one thing that I try and look at is they look like they have been done by a human, which they obviously have, but something with kind of dioramas like this is you want these details, the weathering, to look like it wasn't done by a human. These are very straight lines, so you might have added a little bit of wobbliness to the lines or changed up how you scratch them to make it a little bit more realistic if you're going for realism. So that's one little note. But I like the blue accents on the Sazabi as well. The blue and the gold and the white is a nice color scheme. And the gold it looks like it's like a titanium gold. It's not a super rich Hyakushiki gold, which is good. I think if it was another gold that was too orange, it might be too much for this. Yeah, that's cool. Dang, good work. That's a lot of painting. An MG, that's the MG, right?
Yeah,
an MG. Sazabi per cut. That's a lot of paint. Man, good work. And I like the difference. It's not all white like the lower forearm. That's like a gray and then a bit of a warmer gray, and same on the front of the lower legs, that front shin flap. The color placement, it's from far away, it looks like it's an all white Sazabi, but it's not. That's really nice. Yeah. Oh, good work.
Very nice. Okay. And then we have this little SD here. This is just one picture. It's it's painted. It's got a little nice photography there. This one was submitted, so I don't know.
That's cool, man. Great photography, good light, and it's just got the little daiquiri umbrella, man, and good posing as well. Like it looks like he's looking over the top of the camera, off into the distance. Oh man, that's just a great shot. Yeah, I don't have much to critique on this other than it's just lovely.
Very nice.
Awesome.
And then we have work in progress picture.
This is what I like. Yes. Oh man. Okay, so I'm looking at the. Oh yeah! Wow. This is the thing that it's hard to tell the part on the left with all the pla plate. It's hard to know what it's actually going to be like until you get the primer on. And I can see that it's looking good already over there on the right with the primer. Oh man, good details. Oh, the thigh is nice. The choice to put that panel there. Because I think those notches are standard on the thigh of the
the one on the right and the left, those are standard on that.
Standard, yeah. So man, nice panel put in there, and you can see like what I just did in Photoshop before. There's a little horizontal notch at the top of that kind of hatch panel. That's nicely placed. Yeah.
Then we have
and I like that it looks like there's asymmetry on the shoulders as well. That's a different shoulder on the left. So that's cool.
I think the left shoulder is actually scratch built.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, well.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Cool. So surprise, the Sasabi is actually Kevin's.
Oh.
So Joshua didn't know.
Well, now I got more things to say. So I hate white. I hate gold.
So this is his kit.
Man, cool.
Yeah, very nice. And then the little picture is Derek's. This is what he likes to do, kind of just the
That's my little SD
And
Gundam with the umbrella. That's my guy.
lovely. It's so nice. Did you brighten up the shadows? Did you do any post processing on this photo?
None. I actually took a clean shot outside of Jess's house there with my phone.
Wow. It looked like it looked like the kit would be darker than that, but no, man, just good lighting.
Because
Cool.
I took like 17 shots outside of his tree out back and looking at different angles. He was looking at me. He said, "What the heck are you doing?"
Yep. And we got that shot. And
Man, good colors on the Sazabi. That's really nice. The grays and the white, as I said, that's nice.
then the Jesta is mine. That's my work in progress, actually. So
Oh no way!
yeah,
Oh, dude,
yeah, he's right.
good work.
He's right here. He's still
Is that why?
working.
I love it because that's why it's like, oh, I think that shoulder's scratch built.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a little flap. So there's still going to be a lot more done to him, but he's my work in progress, and we just kind of wanted to throw that one in there since we didn't put the name.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey,
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool, man. Good work, all of you guys. Oh, that's even better that they're yours. You're just making cool stuff. Cool. Oh wow.
But anyway, so that's enough for the viewers content. What we're gonna go on next is just the prospecting new kits. We're gonna talk a little bit about the kits that we're kind of talk about the bigger ones. The first one we have here, you want to talk a little bit about this one, Derek?
Ooh, everyone's really seeing this one soon. I know, there's a lot of mixed feelings out there, but to be honest, holy shoot, it's the Verka. It's the new one, the Wing Zero. Like, and it looks so
That
smooth.
box art. Oh my god, that box art.
I
I
know.
want to buy it for the box.
I'll keep the box art. I'll make a poster of it somewhere. Frame it later. Oh man.
So we have some pictures of the model right here, actually.
Yeah.
Of look at the level of detail on the panel lining. What do you think of this, Joshua?
I'm just looking at it. It's really nice. The separate blues are so good. And the panel lining on the wings, they're not as realistic in some spots, but that's kind of the style. It's super angular. So man, for the aesthetic, it's great. That face is fantastic.
Oh man, it's one of those things that we already seen a lot of wing kits out there. But to be honest, after we seen these pictures get released for itself, I thought, shoot, and now I want to get it. And I actually can smell P Bandai around the corner because I was talking to Kevin before, like, there's a Wing Zero, like, Frozen Teardrop. I could smell that there's a Gobi expansion kit for this thing, too, coming. At the moment I saw this got released, too. But, dang, it is really, really beautiful kit. I'm very excited. I don't know if this is something you would want to get as much as you say you want to get the box art for this, Josh.
Well, the thing that I noticed is that the box art, if you go back to that photo, the blues are super pastel and muted. Everything is really muted. If it was painted in those colors, I would love it so much.
Mm.
Yeah, so I would almost use that as my color scheme guide.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
a
man.
nice looking kid here.
I might actually want
Definitely.
to do that.
What's your opinion on Katoki kits?
I mean, I like the designs because they tend to be leggier, which I really like the legs on my kits. And the water slides are nice. I like them. I mean, they're just really fun to do. And the boxes are brilliant to get. They're just beautiful. The instruction booklet is just stunning. And they tend to have really good detailing and really cool assembly. So I've loved all the ones I've had. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're gonna go on to. I think Kevin wants to talk about this one.
Yes.
No doubt he would.
I've been waiting forever for an MG version. It's the Virtue, and this is definitely one of the first kits I definitely will buy once it comes out. I love just how beefy it is how it looks right now, and then what it does afterwards. Right? I'm not sure if something like this is something you'd enjoy, but it's more boxy than curvy, right? So and that's another thing that I really like about it. It looks more like it fits better. I guess you could. It fits the style a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never grabbed onto the Virtue. I don't know why. I think it's so chunky. It's like it's It's like it's a balloon animal that's been overinflated or something. So it's never been something that I like. But I also say that I would just buy kits just to even look at the runners and then throw the kit away because I'm so curious at the parts, what they look like, what they look like to hold. So building it would be fun. But no, it's never been my thing. He just seems like a bunch of potatoes stuck together. Everybody to their own, for sure.
I already have ideas. I already have ideas on what I'm gonna do. So it's
man.
gonna be good.
Oh,
It'll be
can't
good.
wait.
Oh, before we go on, sorry.
What's up?
I was gonna say Ryan Lau joined us and says Joshua Darrah, my favorite builder, heart.
What?
Hey, Ryan.
There it is. There's my hero.
Hey Ryan.
Can I just say that I don't know if this is Kevin. It's not Kevin. Derek, do you know if this is an actually primed kit or is it just gray? It's not like injected.
This is not. This is not a real kit yet. This kit is actually. These are just foam like sort of like molded parts. These are not the finalized production pieces exactly yet.
Okay.
So these are what they typically use to sort of simulate exactly what they're expecting for the finalized product to be like. But there's virtually zero opposability or anything typically in these. But it's just more of a showcase. But I wouldn't doubt it because why waste the paint yet when it's not the final production?
I mean, I honestly love primed kits, and I've said it, and I'll say it time again. And priming a whole kit after it's not like the day I'm able to fully prime this guy and just take a picture of him just all grayed out is going to be one of the sexiest times of my life because I don't know, man. I need something about that neutral gray. It's like,
it's so good. It's like it bounces the light in the only way that it can, and you get to see all the details like how they should be. It's so good.
It's so nice. Joshua, what do you think of somebody who doesn't prime their kits completely? They just spray little like, like it's nothing. It doesn't. People who don't really prime their kits before they paint.
But you mean no primer at all, or do you mean just a little coat? What do you
like? Not even a little coat. Literally just. Like, I don't even know what to call it.
Tiny spitting of it, like just like light, very light.
Look, I haven't had enough experience to know how much primer helps or doesn't help, and it has to do with your plastic and your primer itself. So some people have painted straight without primer, and if you use like lacquer paint, maybe it can grab on a bit more. I don't know. I do the priming now because I love seeing it in primer, so that's my main reason. Each to their own, but it just looks so nice. And I like to think it helps the paint grab on because the primer is a bit more matte. So that's why I do it now.
Definitely.
Yeah,
man, we're glad we don't know anybody like that literally just sprays nothings into their kit. We say that because it's a joke. It's a running joke now ever since TR13 was on the show. Kevin just literally sprays on
it's
the.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's
you like spray it into the air, and then while it's in the air, you go get your kit and carry it through, just like
you grab the runner and just start waving in the air. Just grab that mess.
That's a good one. I like that. I think we're gonna use that whenever we say it to our next guest.
Like this, and then you're like, oh no, it's too much, and you strip it.
Catch the mist in the air. Yes.
Oh man. Cool. We actually have Choco Falcon in here too. Choco Falcon and Ryan Lowe. All of them are there. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one. This is the gin.
Ooh, yes.
Oh.
Oh man, this that was really funny. Okay, this kit has a lot of. To me, I wouldn't really want to work on this kit. To me, it just looks like it already has a lot of detail.
Dude, it's a Zaku that's a knight. Basically.
Just what I was saying before about how newer kits sometimes have a lot of the details on them, and they're doing it with the seed kits, like the Zaku Warrior. And I wanted it, but then I saw how much details are on it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like I'm building it for somebody else. I don't get to do anything to it. So I kind of feel what you're saying.
At least, yeah. Even the Virtue has a lot of flat areas that I could actually work with. So I'm actually thinking of really getting this kit. There's a lot of things that I could do, but the Jin is just a little bit too different. What I do like are the feet, though. I will say that the Jin has some nice looking feet.
Very nice. There's
Just
upturned
nice.
toes. Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt toes where they just go up a little bit. It's
Yeah.
super nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So man, the other thing, Jess, you might get eventually to doing is you see this kit and you go, okay, cool, and you're gonna get it and you're gonna sand and fill all those details and then do your own. That's next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could definitely. I like making a kit my own, so I'm really more into making all my details. Hence why I haven't tackled resin yet. I'd rather kind of just go out.
Yeah.
I think the biggest compliment that I've got was from somebody on Instagram was like, "It looks like a resin kit what you're working on already," and it's like, that's kind of what I want. Just make my own.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Jessen kit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gin looks pretty nice. Derek, so you're gonna get this kit, man?
Oh, I'm so getting it because I love the Seed series so much. Oh my gosh. And I can't wait to actually look at it and wonder what I can do with it, because I guarantee another time there's gonna be another expansion kit. There's these giant rockets I want to add on to them.
So Derek's a prophet. He kind of just foretell. He can foresee what's gonna happen. So he called out the MGX unicorn before it even existed. So if he says there's gonna be an expansion part,
There's a high chance.
Wow.
There's a high chance something's
there's a high
gonna come
chance
up.
it's gonna happen.
Don't call
And
me
I
I love
like
it. You're just like
prophet.
At the same time,
Just-
those expansion parts, there's a high chance it's a P Bandai.
Yes.
Oh man. Anyways,
I like the colors. That's
Yes.
what I do like.
ooh, okay. I see it. I think Bandai at least is putting some more effort into the color separation, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like it's just all the big old same color. But speaking of Bandai, with the new Penelope movie around the corner, Derek, you want to tell us a little bit about this kit right here?
Anybody been keeping up with the series or the manga? I'm not sure if they do. No.
I mean, you aren't.
Okay. I'm sort of known as the lore guy too. There, just to give you a heads up. So this is the okay. I'm still go until officially somewhere on the video I can find this. I call it the Zai Gundam. Technically, XI is actually the final form of the Penelope, technically, of the prototype. So, and it's just as big as the Penelope, which is the giant goose, basically.
Yeah. Do we know how high this is and how high it will be in real life? Are we talking like
Oh.
16, 17 centimeters or something like that? You reckon?
Yeah, they're big. My girlfriend had the Penelope, and it's a huge kit. It's like Alpha large kit is like just like it reminds me of her Nightingale. She has the RE1100 Nightingale too. That thing is just massive, and this thing is gonna be big. And yeah, I reckon it's about that big. Actually, I reckon it is gonna be a pretty big kit. And from the images they actually got of it, it looks amazing. It looks like it has a lot of folding parts, and believe it or not, it's still a high grade. This is a high grade out of all things.
That's crazy. Damn.
Looks so nice. Yeah, I had never seen the version with the little fake head in the front of the chest before.
Okay.
I hadn't seen that.
No, the Penelope. Yeah, if you ever look up the Penelope, you'll notice it. But technically, the two will go to sides together, basically. And there's going to be some specialty effect parts going to be launching out for the Penelope as well, and for this guy as well. So it's going to be really neat. But it looks so crazy. It has all these rockets and everything on there.
Yeah, the effect parts are really cool. I mean, those things are pretty sick, man.
Lots of potential for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
A lot of flat. But then we have the Calamity that actually got canceled or got delayed.
yeah, I was just viewing it last night, and you might actually enjoy this one, Joshua, more because it's a RE1100. So it was designed technically to be not as detailed. But it's right now being postponed, technically, temporarily.
Yeah. It looks like they're just matching the detail level like with the Jin before. Like it seems like it's got tons of detail.
I thought so too, right? Like, is this really a RE1100? Usually, you don't see that much details on it, right?
The Hama Hama, when that came out, that thing had detail galore all over it.
Yes.
So many angles and things. Yeah. So some of them are more detailed.
Hmm.
I'm excited for this kit.
I
But
am.
I was sad. I was sad when Derek told me that it's being postponed, I guess.
technically it's gonna be delayed right now. They said there was online. I was reading some news on it because I'm not sure what's happening with the production side, but they say they might be delaying this kit specifically. So we'll see what happens. But we'll get more lyrics.
Derek has the insights with Bandai, dude. I swear, this guy is
don't.
he's like, hey man, so we're delaying this kit, just letting you know. So that I'm telling you, whatever Derek says, it's gonna happen. All right, if he says they're gonna come out with a brand new spanking PG unicorn, because we need another one, of course. It's gonna come out. You just know it's true. But I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna mention the kit that I'm really excited for. It's the RG High New. So I know RGs are 1/144th, but the new Gundam is a big one. So it's kind of master grade size. So I'm very excited for this one because this one just looks sick. It looks so nice. Oh man,
It's incredible. Yeah.
yeah. I can't say anything. I love that purple on this one more than I like the purple on the High New.
And the silver parts on this too. On the back of the kneecaps and down near the ankles. There's so many silver bits on this.
Oh,
The
so pretty.
Urquhart didn't have. This is like the old high grade, and the old master grade had the silver bits. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So this is going to be a beautiful kit. Derek has also foresees in the future, of course, that what's going to happen is that they're going to bring out an expansion pack, just like they did for the RG New, which is a heavy weapon set. So that's what you said right there?
I can only see it because it's just popular. Like realistically, they did it for the new Gundam, and it's not like they are really spacing out any more new molds. Really, they're just reusing a lot of some parts of it. But I'm excited because it is a really really cool kit, and I can't wait to see what type of like detail and articulation, because the RGs it's a whole different world when you look at the articulation they do on some of these. So
I
Definitely.
just noticed that it's got the gold details, which the original master grade had the little gold at the top of the fuel tanks, and it was like this special little runner. And they've carried that over into this for the elbow and knee. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a sick kit. I can't wait to get my hands on this. Oh man, I just love the new Gundam. I mean, I like the Sasabi more, but I love the new Gundam almost as equal as that one. But can't wait to see it. We'll see what happens. But in these last few minutes that we have with you on the show, Joshua, we would like to ask you, what would you personally like to see Bandai do in the future? So the future of Bandai.
Oh, future Bandai. Their part separation is ridiculous, like on their figurized kits. So, and they've been doing more and more of that in their recent kits. I really like that, especially in the real grade, where you have a part going behind a part and another part. That's just really fun to do. So if they keep doing that, that'd be cool. I'd love a MG Gira Zulu.
ooh,
I would love that. That would be super cool. Having a grunt like that. What else? Their undergating is fantastic on some kits. I'd love more of that, because that just means you don't have to get rid of nubs as much. What else? Oh, I'm drawing a blank now. Do you guys have any that'll spur my thoughts?
Kevin?
PG Sananju.
Oh, good
Oh,
lord!
yeah.
I want a PG Sananju so bad.
He says this all the time.
Yes.
Every single time.
He just wants it, and I don't know, man. Speaking of which, actually, Han says, I'm curious about his opinion about the new PG Unleashed RX-78 too.
Ooh.
The proportions on the PG RX-78, like I like the Origin RX-78 the most for its proportion and design. The PGs aren't really my bag because of the scale. They feel like kind of big toys. MG makes it feel like it's a real miniature, which I really like. So never been a PG person, but they're bringing back the inner frame with the layering. My gosh, so many stages. So I'm all about the build, and like putting that together is just going to be so good. You're going to put a layer on, bend the knee, see it all split and stuff, and put more layers on. And they just went all out on the open hatches, which again is just tick, such a big tick. So it looks ridiculous with all those hatches and everything. And some of the details possibly a little bit over detailed, because again, I wouldn't be able to do much with it if I wanted to detail it. But if you're not willing to detail it, you're all set. It's going to be just amazing to build.
Just the showpiece. By the way, Ryan Lau says, "I want Josh's Sananju." That's what he
That's
wants.
true. That is very true.
He just wrote it on the chat.
Oh, man. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do still look at it and I love it.
Oh, I was just
Nice.
realizing, was it Hasaki art? I think he's right. I just tried reading the message because I was just double checking. I guess that Calamity Gundam, it might not be actually just a RE100 because they did not actually put down exactly what grade it is actually because they put it down as full tentative. So that might be a full master grade actually, possibly too. That might be a case.
What? Nice. What I want to see in the future of Bandai, going back to that
Oh
one
yeah,
is
sorry. Yeah.
no, it's okay. No, you don't need to apologize. Is actually the whole open hatch thing with the RX-78 2PG, the open hatch of the MG Verka Sasabi. I want open hatch. That's what I want. I want them to bring out some nice master grade kits that are open hatched. I want to see the inside. One of my favorite videos, I don't know if you ever kind of just go on YouTube and look at Gunpla videos, Josh, but there's this beautiful channel called The Story. And they have a story on this guy who just builds open hatch kits. And it's like Bandai, dude. You have to start doing something like that because even just in detail. I mean, okay, this is going to be like a double-edged sword because I would say bring more detail to your kits because I feel like the resin market is really getting up there with them. It's really upping them up. Like, okay, thank you for giving me something to put more detail onto it. So with the future of Bandai, I really want to see more open hatch. I want to see a little bit more detail. For people that aren't really looking to customize and just want to do a really quick, beautiful build, I think it'd be really nice without having to go the extra mile and doing resin. Which in itself is another skill, right? Cleaning, masking, and Cab Models, who's on the chat. I don't know if you've seen Cab Models work on Instagram. He's an awesome guy. His masking is crazy. The guy is crazy. I mean, honestly. So I definitely
that's a skill in its own.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah. But definitely want to see that. How about you, Derek? What do you want to see?
I'm just gonna read two messages really quick, and then I'll say my two piece. Like, cause was it Kshatriya Ghost? Yeah, they want a master grade Kshatriya. That thing will be jumbo size, bigger than the
That would be
Sananju.
great.
Good lord,
I'll take that too.
that would be huge.
Yes.
And then also,
I don't even
Ooh, yeah.
do that anymore because I've just wanted it for so long.
Bandai doesn't listen. They'll give you another unicorn if you want it, Joe.
Oh jeez. What is it? Jonas says say more grades of Thunderbolt kits, and actually, to be honest, it's not so much kits for me. I just want more shows. I just really want them to continue like Thunderbolt or any of the current series like IBO. Like they finished their second season. I know they can do a lot more with it if they want to run hard, and it's just. I just really want them to continue with that because right now this whole entire year, all I've been catching up is between watching Build Fighters again, IBO, Iron Blooded Orphans. I just really want something new really soon outside of just the movie of Hathaway's Flash. But that's me. That's what I want the future of Bandai. Bring out more shows for me to binge.
More shows.
Do you watch them, Joshua?
I watched Unicorn, loved it, and then I watched Thunderbolt, which was just fantastic. I would love some more master grade Thunderbolt kits for sure, and they're so nice. And I watched, I think what was the one with young Shah when he was a kid? Oh, was that Origin?
Yep, Origin, Gundam Origins. Yeah,
one or two parts of that, and that was just fantastic story, and the artwork's great. But Build Fighters, man, when the first Build Fighters came out, it was just so much fun, and I hadn't watched a lot of silly anime, so when they just do all the anime tropes of the crying faces and they go pale or whatever, it was cracking me up, and the battles are really cool. I'll go back and watch like Zaku, the Zaku with like the extra leg thrusters and stuff, fighting Iori. The battle, and it's got like this Latino guitar and this guy singing, and it's all epic and stuff, and shooting. It's such a fun show. It was ridiculous, and the battles were cool. The kits I wasn't too in on, but the show was just great. So that's probably my top Gundam show was Build Fighters, the original series.
Wow, okay.
Nice.
That's the first.
All right.
I respect. Put some respect on
Dude,
that.
I just love all the different ones. Even the terrible ones, I enjoy watching them at times. Unfortunately. I'm just that much of a fanatic.
Yeah. Well, with that said, we really want to thank you for being on the show. Joshua, for really coming over and sharing your thoughts and kind of. It was really fun. I mean, the masterclass, you're the first one, man.
Yes.
This is cool.
You definitely helped us level up our show.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Oh man,
My pleasure.
it was a lot.
I mean, it was great to be on. Yeah, you guys are cool.
Oh, thank you, man. That means a lot. But to the audience out there, we just want to remind you guys real quick again to join our Discord server. You can find almost everybody in the chat's already in the Discord. But if you're watching this and you're not watching it live, come join our Discord. The link will be in the description. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a Patreon. We also have Facebook. We have everything. You can go in there and follow us and to see more things like this. And then also remind you guys that we are part of the G Squad. There will be things coming out, all from Kevin, because Kevin is handling the G Squad side of things for GTS. Other than that, guys, this is GTS. Thank you for being here. We'll see you here next week where we have Cook Day with Frosted Snow, our finale, our season 2 finale. Wow.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be good.
Really?
It will be good.
Yeah. It's going to be sick. So
Thank you again.
we will see you guys here. So take care, guys. See ya.
All right. Cheers.
Good night, guys.
All right. Good night. Thank you.